Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. I am your host, Robbie Fox. With me, as always, is Clem, and we are here to break down Disney Plus Day and the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Super nerdy episode, comic book centric, little Star Wars, little Ghostbusters even at the end. This is going to be a fun one, Clem.
Bob Fox, we are entering the basement verse right now because as I'm looking at all these notes, I'm like, this is our next year of next year. Like this is 22, 23 for us. 21 is about to get crazy. We're going to be in the basement locked in starting next week with Hawkeye. I'm like, holy shit, we have a lot of work ahead of us right now. So a lot to discuss and a lot to get excited about, to be honest with you.
A lot to be excited about. One of those things is for the listeners. If you've been listening to My Mom's Basement for years, you know that we've been talking about this trip to medieval times, and you can be excited because it finally happened. We're here to talk about that as well. This is something we've talked about for, I think, literally 2 or 3 years because you brought it up and you said you went when you were a kid. It was so much fun. I said, oh, I've never been ever. You said, all right, one day we're going to go. We're going to go together. It's going to be a blast. Oh my God, it over delivered. It was a blast.
That's what I love to hear. We shout out to Medieval Times. We had mentioned it on Podfathers over the summer about how Large had gone once and how much he loved it. I loved it as a kid when I went when I was 6, 7 years old. And I mean, you just can't go wrong. You're in the middle of a strip mall, then there's this giant castle, and you just go in and you watch. For people to know, it's there's knights and stuff on horses, and they do a whole medieval show, and then there's jousting, and each section roots for a knight. And I honestly, if there wasn't one in New Jersey, I wouldn't even know it was still around anymore. It's not like they advertise on TV or you're in unfortunately, I'm not in the loops of people who go to Medieval Times anymore. I've made the wrong turn in life. That's where I am. Well, they said, hey, we want to have you guys out, bring your families, whoever wants to go. Bob Fox is I'm in as well. So we threw you in, and we had the perfect range of people. We had my kids and Joey Langone's kids, who are all 2+ to 8 years old. Then you had Large's kids, who are, I think, Bridget's around 11, then Finn's 14, Mick's 17. Mick brought his girlfriend, and then we got Robbie Fox and Lady Fox, who are in their 20s, and then you have the old farts, in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Or Large is turning 50 this year. I can't put him on the 5-0 on him yet. And everybody was that was so much fun. And,
so much fun. Our night won. That made it so much better, too. Our guy made it to the end. He won. It was he looked like Feidelberg. He looked hysterical.
Like Feidelberg. Yeah. Neidlberg, as we called them. Saturdays before the Lords. And you said you had a blast. I think, us, Large and I, Large is drinking, a bunch of beers in a giant Medieval Times, whatever they call it.
He had the horn or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I looked down the row, because we thank God for Large. Large put his kids at the end, then all the little kids, then all the adults, you know what I mean? So it was me and Large, Joey, you, my wife, all the wives and stuff like that. And I looked down at one point, and AJ, who's, a little bit of a terror, he is 3.5 years old, and the horse, there was just a part where just the horses were running around. They making it do dance and stuff. And he was just going, ha 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 ha. He was just laughing. He didn't even know how to express his joy. So he was just laughing because it was so awesome. And yeah, it was a blast. And I think everyone from the young to the old and everyone in between loved it. You can get drunk. Afterwards, Large was telling us that the late shows on Saturday nights, they turn after you leave the Medieval Times, you go out to the bar, and it's it kind of looks like a castle, and I don't know how to really describe it, but
cool. It's a courtyard type thing.
Courtyard. Perfect way to put it, Bob. And he's a DJ comes out, they have strobe lights and disco balls and shit like that, and people just party and shit like that. You drink with the knights, and I'm sure the queen is there and the princesses and everyone who's involved. And I'm man, a different time in my life maybe. So I think everyone enjoyed. So anyone who's listening in the basement, if you guys hit Medieval Times, you let us know the experience. I think it kind of works for everyone. And I was the most worried about you, because you never know, people in their 20s might be what the fuck is going on here? But
oh no,
we had
my
two
girlfriend
rookies.
Both had a blast. They made her the queen, which makes me the king. I was I did it. I'm living off her the rest of my life. She's the queen.
Bob, some people think that Neidlberg cucked you by, dropping his handkerchief to the lady there and stuff like that.
Watch it, Neidlberg.
That octagon is still open for business here, right? Octagon Bob still can throw those gloves on. He keeps that thing on him, as they say.
That's when I hopped the rail. I put the nice thing on. Let's go. Let's do it. No, it was a great time. And I said to you afterwards, which I wanted to bring up on the podcast, how do they not do this for Star Wars, for Marvel, this is so easy. It's built in. You create a little arena in Disney, say for Marvel, because we're going to talk about a lot of Marvel stuff today. If you called it like Marvel's Civil War, and then you have like the Watcher, the voice of the Watcher come over the loudspeaker. Here's this universe where Sakaar is the center of it. And then it's like you have a Jeff Goldblum guy as the king, and then he brings
Oh,
out all the Avengers, and it's like the green section's for the Hulk, the yellow section is for Thor because lightning or whatever, the blue section's for Captain America, and they're all in that like Sakaar gear. Or what we were talking about in the little courtyard area, Star Wars. If you had the Jedi, the Sith, the smugglers, the bounty hunters, like you can do this and make it completely awesome. They need to do that in Disney.
does Disney like making money? Because I think that's the last time I checked. They like making money. So goddamn, do this, Disney. It's a free ID. We know Bob Iger is listening. I'm sure whoever the new guy who took it. I don't even know if that new guy even took over yet, because that was right when Corona went crazy.
I
But
think I think he took over. I'm pretty sure because Bob Iger said like, "All right, I'll stick on for a little longer because Corona," and then I think he's out now.
okay, but this is like $1 billion idea, and to all the again, to any of the parents listening or people who just want to have a good time, they have like the live shows for Marvel, and I took the kids to
Yeah.
that a couple years ago. That was so much more fun than I could have ever expected. It's much better than like the Paw Patrol one I went to. But this, you get the food involved again. And how was that food? You get the bisque,
Food is
you
pretty
get
good, yeah.
you get the chicken. You don't know there's no
No
silverware in medieval
utensils. Yeah, you
times.
got to eat with your
Yep.
hands like a savage. I was eating a chicken like I felt like I was like eating a fish and I was an animal or something, like a bear.
Yep. And then everyone gets to drop their cable guy lines. Everyone gets
Yeah.
to be Chip Douglas for the night and stuff like that.
I did
So
get my
all in all.
Pepsis, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Get your
And I
Pepsis.
even
I
got
drink mead.
I got a pina colada slushy. I even tried a sip of the mead that you got. I did not enjoy it.
Mead is a little. It's like wine with like it's with like honey, I guess, kind
Yeah,
of
it
flavor,
had a
and
honey taste. Yeah.
it's a lot. I wasn't a fan, but again, when in medieval times, do as the medieval timers do, right? So that's what we
Yeah.
did, and I think thumbs up all around. So I love to hear it. Love to
Huge
hear it.
thumbs up. Huge thumbs up. That was great. Now let's get into some nerdy stuff. I mean, if medieval times
Extra
wasn't
nerdy.
nerdy enough, Jesus. People are gonna be like, you guys are the fucking biggest nerds on the planet. But that's why you're in the basement with us. Guys, work attire has changed. The days of wearing uncomfortable business attire are over, especially if you work at home. If you work at a place like Barstool, I'm lucky enough where I can wear whatever I want, but what I choose to wear is Cuts clothing. Cuts clothing is the best in the business. This is a true story. I had to pack up some ornaments the other day, right? So I wanted to wrap them in t-shirts so they wouldn't break because I had to transport them from my mom's house to my apartment, right? My mom's basement, kind of breaking kayfabe there. I don't live in my mom's basement, but the point is, I wrapped them in Cuts clothing because I said they're not going to break in Cuts clothing. That's an endorsement that I don't think they've ever gotten before. But this stuff is the softest clothing in my closet, the softest clothing I own. It is my travel attire. It's what I like to wear on an airplane because you like to be comfortable, especially if it's a long flight. If I'm going to Las Vegas for a UFC thing or something, this is what I put on. Cuts clothing has the best stuff in the game because it's also versatile. It's not like baggy clothing. It's not like it doesn't look nice. It looks very nice. This is business casual. You could wear this on a date. You could wear it to the gym if you want because, like I said, it is so comfortable. Shipageddon 2021 is coming in preparation. Cuts is starting their sale season early for you with 30% off site wide starting November 9th. So you can have a worry free shopping experience. Head over to cutsclothing.com today to get 30% off site wide. This is a great deal. I promise you, great deal through December 3rd and upgrade your wardrobe with their world famous shirts, joggers, and their all new outerwear. The sale is up December 3rd as well. That's the date of a Pup Punk show. So get your Cuts clothing before then and then show up to the Pup Punk show in your Cuts clothing. That is cutsclothing.com, 30% off site wide. So the Spider-Man trailer is out. There's rumors that there's going to be another trailer the day that tickets go on sale, which I think is November 29th. I kind of hope that there isn't. I feel like I've seen all that I need to see from this movie. I think everyone at the office has seen all they need to see because I went in and everyone's talking about it from Jeff to Ken Jack to Chuck to Devlin, and everyone's saying, thank God that they didn't show us Toby or Andrew Garfield in this one. That's like the thing. It's the worst kept secret It's like they're not confirmed that they're in it. They keep denying that they're in it, but like, really, are you not in? There's even hints in this trailer where Doc Ock mentions like, "You're not Peter Parker." It's like, man, that couldn't be more on the nose of like, we're gonna see his Peter Parker in this one, but keep them out of the trailers. Nobody wants to see that. It's we're gonna talk about the Ghostbusters trailer in a bit, and the all of that. The way that they handled the old Ghostbusters in that is perfect. I think it's
Mhm.
very similar to that, where it's like, if you even if you wanted to show us like their feet stepping down or another web coming in from off screen that kind of hints at it, I'm okay with that. But save the on-screen reveal for the theater. Don't put Avengers Assemble in the trailer for Endgame. Don't do one
um,
of those things.
I'm 1,000% with you, man. I honestly would have been fine if they just showed maybe Doc Ock and hinted at a green guy. Like I would have been fine without seeing as much as we saw. I would have been fine with even less of it because, again, like you said with Endgame, I think imagine if just like you saw Tony's dad there. You're like, oh, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
the pet. Like it's like no, save it all for as much as possible. Let them
Like,
like
who's not sold on this at this point? It's
you know
they're calling it the end game of Spider-Man movies. Like, I'm in.
the people that want to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, those are the people that search for their Christmas presents and look at them before they're open.
Yeah.
Just wrap them up. I don't want to see a thing. If you want to tell me a magical fat guy came down my chimney and put him there, tell me that too. I don't care. Let's enjoy this because once you open it up, it's going to be over. So
When you tell the story of the greatest Christmas mornings you've ever had, it never involves like, oh yeah, a present I knew I was getting. It's always like something that I opened and I couldn't believe I got it in front of me. That's what we want. That's like, it's going to be such a moment when we see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man for the first time since what? When was Spider-Man 3? 2005, 2006, 2007, around that era. Like, it's been so long. We need to save that for the theater because it'll be like a Super Bowl eruption moment.
Yeah, so that I was actually, you know what I thought of that the first time we see him, it's going to be like when you saw the Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
in The Force
Force
Awakens, right?
Awakens.
And they're
One
just
of the
like that
best
hug
theater
and jump,
moments in that movie. Yeah.
goosebumps just thinking about it like that, and an interruption. And when you said tickets are going on sale at 29th, thank God you said that because I didn't even think like this is one of those movies that you're going to have to get your ticket early. Make sure you choose the theater you want. If it's an IMAX, if it's a
Definitely.
place that serves food, all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to get the best ticket at the best theater that you want. And it's going to probably sell out. And I'm like, shit, I'm not ready for that kind of like, it's been a year and a half, Bob. Like this is, we've been in the theater probably like 3 or 4 times to see shit. This is a whole other thing.
And this comes
And
out what? I think it's a month from today. I think it's December 18th. I wonder if it has only a few days to do it, right? Before 2022. I wonder how high this can get on the list of box office movies for 2021. Like, will this be number
ooh,
one for the year, having only been out like 2 weeks?
that's interesting. And you brought it up. I forgot about this. The UK getting this 2 days early? What kind of
Crazy.
is this fucking Mysterio pulling one last fucking like jobber on it? Like, how are you gonna have this movie out where people are like breaking down the lizards the way his neck is moving in a Brazil trailer, and then you're just gonna have all the
That was
spoilers
great.
out there?
That was great. Marvel trying to pull a fast one on the fans, and we're like, not, no, not so fast. We see your little animation where they're trying to take the Spider-Man out of that shop. So we do also see, as you mentioned, we see some other villains. We see Goblin, we see Electro, we see Sandman, Doc Ock, and Lizard. Lizard, Doc Ock, they look pretty much the same. Goblin looks exactly the same from what we've seen. He's got the whole helmet on, and people were saying they're not going to bring that helmet back. It looked too silly. I always loved it. Maybe just because that was like what I grew up with or whatever. I loved the toy of it, but I
Mhm.
love that they brought it back. There's even a shot of him, kind of looks like another goblin. People were saying, is it the hobgoblin, like spinning out because he's got goggles on? I don't think it's James Franco's hobgoblin. I mean, Seth Rogen said like, I'll never work with that guy again because he got me too'd. I can't imagine Disney's gonna go near him because of that. But maybe it's another one. Maybe it's just Goblin later in the movie. That's what Jeff D'Lo seems to think. He's like, I think it's just Goblin later in the movie. Maybe he gets his helmet destroyed. Do we have a sixth Sinister Six? Obviously, Spider-Man's villain arsenal is known for having like the Sinister Six when they team up. We only have five here. So it's very interesting. Will there be a six? Will we get a Venom, Morbius, Vulture, possibly Mysterio coming back? Whoever it is, they're keeping under wraps, maybe for a reason. Also, they've changed the look of Electro. He looks 10 billion times better
Mhm.
than he did in two. They even have the little like Electro mask in Lightning Bolt come up on his face. It's awesome.
The I didn't notice that at first, but someone pointed it out, and I was like, yes. And we got the fucking me and the boys meme. It is fucking prime time to use that now. I want to see that shit on Twitter for all of Christmas break. I don't know how we're going to use it because I don't know what the biggest stories or sports things are, but that's going to be a fucking ton of fun because I forgot about that side of Electro.
Yeah.
The Doc Ock thing too, where someone tweeted, my guy Meek Phil, he's a Mets fan who I follow on Mets Twitter. If you put Cock, where you capital D, lowercase o, and then capital COCK, you still get the Spider-Man mask, which I didn't know you could like trick the fucking hashtags and the thing of that. It's the little things like that that I'm gonna love about this movie here. And I gotta ask though, like, are we blaming Tom Holland? Like, is this a Tom Holland thing that they're releasing in the UK first? This is like a big problem. Like, R.I.P. Tony, my dog Tony Stark.
I know.
If someone does that and people are like, how
we need
many
to
things...
request vacation days, you and me, from
Yeah.
Barstool. We need to have like a doctor's note that says like their brain will have an aneurysm if they see spoilers. So Dave, they need to disconnect from the internet for those 2 days, and then they get to go see it unspoiled.
My mom's cellar. That's what I said. We'll do it over there across the pond, and we have to go see it like when the rest of like, yeah, I guess we shouldn't buy our movie tickets yet here in case we go to fucking jolly old England and watch it as I don't even know. UK is England, is Ireland the UK? I know Scotland,
but not
Wales,
Northern Ireland, maybe.
Yeah, not right? Northern Ireland. We have a lot to research here, and we have to get our like rogues on and stuff like that.
I got Zeppelin behind me. This is a disgrace. I should know more.
You did say though, like there has to be a sixth member of the Sinister Six, and is it? I think Vulture would be cool because I did love Keaton,
and he's coming back in Morbius. We know that character is gonna make a cameo in Morbius, so maybe they're refreshing our memory on him here or something. And like you said, loved Keaton. He was a great villain.
Yep, or Venom, because it's like they'll do Venom, right? Because the MCU will just put the MCU polish on him. The only other thing is, I am scared. And I don't think it's going to happen. This maybe like the Sinister Six in that, because like I don't think they're showing us the final battle, right? I think they're showing us maybe midpoint of the movie battle with like, and this scares me. But we see Mary Jane fall, right? We see MJ going down, and someone, and then they're breaking down as Andrew Garfield that's trying to save her because of the color of the. It's crazy.
And they're saying it could be good redemption for Garfield because in Amazing Spider-Man 2, he lets Gwen Stacy fall. Well, kind of saves her, but like in the comic, it's like, did she fall from the recoil of the web? It's like, could be redemption for him.
And we also see who's there though. My guy Ned, and he's hanging on by a thread. And listen, me and Ned, similar body types. We ain't hanging on there that long. So I can't put into words how little I want to see Ned as a bad guy, which means he's the perfect guy to go bad. I don't know if you could like have like he could, whatever happens to him, he blames Spider-Man and then he becomes a sixth member of the Sinister Six. I think I gotta see it, Bob. Like it's what hurts in, there's different, I can't spoil anything. There's other shows out there where there was some crazy heel turns recently.
He's the guy in the chair.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. So I personally love to see it. Also, but at the end of, we also see in the trailer where it looks like they have the time branches.
That's what I was going to bring up. Doctor Strange sees time branches and he says, they're starting to come through and I can't stop them. Who? What does that mean, Doctor Strange?
It's Kang! It's Kang! It's, give me Kang Fu. Just like, I don't even know.
It does look like the thing from the end of Loki. A little bit different. Yeah. It's a little, but it has the same vibe where it's like, oh, this is definitely multiverse related in some way. Is it other Spider-Man villains from the past? Is that when Toby and Andrew come through and that's like, I can't stop them, and then it winds up being heroes? It's maybe a misdirect. Is that X-Men? Is that X-Men villains?
Oh God, Bob, don't you start saying the X word around me right now. The whole X factor in this is that Doctor Strange is being sus the whole time.
Sus. And I had people in Barstool. I tweeted it yesterday. The buzz at HQ was crazy yesterday. When I went into the office, everyone was talking about the Spider-Man trailer. Some people on the business side, these girls came up to me on the talent side and said, who's Benedict Cumberbatch in that? He's a villain? And I was like, no, he's not.
Wow.
But they're just watching that, uninfluenced, and they're like, that guy's sus. So
that's outside of us. That's people that are knee deep in this shit. That's just, the eye test right there.
But those people were also like, you got to give us a list. Jeff D. Lowe made him a list of the movies you watched, have watched before this. Like, everyone is in on this Spider-Man movie. It's great to see. It reminds me of Endgame. It reminds me of pre-pandemic times where people are just so excited to go to the movies again.
And I mean, like Spider-Man is kind of like was the gold standard once upon a time for the blockbusters, right? Like that was the Aquaman. We're gonna squash the bug and all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And this is the thing, like even when he's not being sus, Doctor Strange is going to do what's right for as the Sorcerer Supreme, which might not be the best for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's going to do whatever is like the right thing to do because that's just what Peter Parker does, right?
And
so
they're showing in the trailer already. He thinks the right thing is he's like, these villains are coming in. I don't want to kill them. And he's like, but their fate is like to die at the hands of a Spider-Man. Like you kind of have to do this. And he's like kind of facing. They also say all of the villains died at the hands of their Spider-Man or whatever, or died fighting their Spider-Man, which is true. But like in that Obi-Wan from a certain point of view way, because like
yeah.
Lizard actually didn't. Lizard is alive at the end of that movie. Doc Ock does, or Green Goblin does. Doc Ock sacrifices himself, so it's like he kind of does, but he dies at the hands of Spider-Man the same way that Darth Vader dies at the hands of Luke Skywalker. It's like
Yeah, that's a good way to
kind
put it.
of from a certain point of view. So that makes me think maybe Doc Ock has somehow fooled Doctor Strange or Peter Parker into thinking like, oh yeah, my fucking Peter Parker killed me. He's a savage, and then they feel bad for him, and then he fucking gets one over on.
I kind of want to see Doc Ock on our side. Like out of all the villains, like I always liked how he kind of like turned at
Yeah,
the end
he's a
of it.
great one.
And I
Alfred
just
Molina is a great actor too.
yeah, exactly. I think that's a big part of it too. Fucking Defoe, so I can't wait to hear that
I
Defoe.
know, yeah.
And like you said, I do think like this is Defoe with the goggles on. I think that was the little screen cap people cause, and that's like he fucked up my mask, and we're in the point. It's like the blades have been cut. If this were wrestling, like we're in straight up,
Yeah.
we're flying the Goblin copter, whatever the fuck it's
I
called, the
saw he's got
hovercraft.
this satchel too for like the goblin bombs, which is like,
Mhm.
oh, they gave him the little cloth satchel. Like, what a dumb thing that I didn't even think of, but it's awesome.
So the hype level, we're 1,000 out of 10 right now. I think
A
we can
thousand out of 10. I
everyone
mean,
can
I quote tweeted the trailer. I said I just shot webs everywhere. That's what I could say about it. Let's
and
get on to Disney Plus Day.
Sienna's one reaction. She goes like this. She goes, I want to see that in the movie so badly. And I've never heard her say it, but she was like so jacked up for it, man. It was awesome.
Well, she loves the Spider-Man cartoon show, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, she was fucking Spider-Gwen for Halloween. So
Yeah.
that checks out. That definitely checks out.
Disney Plus Day. We had a bunch of announcements. We expected a bunch from Disney, from Marvel and Star Wars. We pretty much just got them from Marvel. I don't know what Star Wars is thinking. People said maybe they're saving them for D23, but I just saw a report that there are no Star Wars announcements planned for D23. So I don't know what was going on there. We did get enough Marvel announcements to make up for it. The biggest of which, at least for this podcast, I know that people are going to say this isn't the biggest, but listen, it's the biggest for Clem and myself. X-Men 97. They are bringing back the X-Men animated series. Original creators, original voice cast, pretty much original everything. It did not come out in 97. Some people were saying, why are they calling it 97? That is where it left off, and they're picking up right where they left off.
I became the Portnoy fall off his chair gif when I saw that. That was the day before where I think someone had leaked it.
Kind of leaked, yeah.
I was like, where the fuck did that come from? I never in a million years did I think we were getting it, let alone that we were going to get it. They were going to pick up where they had left off. So we have all that, first few years worth of episodes that are now like, we're just going to pick up from there, and that can now live again. People can watch, they can rewatch, whatever it may be.
And they should, by the way, if you haven't seen this, like the episodes hold up so well.
It's crazy how well they hold up, even though we have this new gold standard for the MCU, which, by the way, like Marvel was like nothing back in the day in the 90s. You know what I mean? The fact that they had this kind of shit being pumped out. And I mean, we could talk about the theme song. I mean, I absolutely will like wax poetic about that. I think it's the greatest song in human history of all music. It's not just, theme songs for TV shows, let alone cartoons. It got me so fucking hyped, man. It was my favorite show. And at that point, like there was no internet really. And just one day I like turned on the TV on a Saturday and it was gone. And I didn't, I guess, read in the paper that it was canceled or whatever they did with it. I'm like, where's X-Men? And it just ended one day. So this is awesome. Just seeing it's in that like X-Men, the arcade game font. So that already like tickles my nostalgia bone. That has 97, and as a child of the 90s, the 90s were so fucking good, man. I saw a thing the other day where it was like the 90s were that sweet spot between the Cold War had ended and 9/11 hadn't happened and all the wars and stuff. And it's like you lived in this little bubble where, I mean, the music, the movies, the TV, like it was like a fucking golden age for so much shit. And just seeing the number 97, it honestly like makes me happy seeing it. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
something about seeing like 94 is always out of all the numbers I can see. 94, like NHL 94 was a great year. The Knicks were good, all that kind of stuff. So as an old
Clerks,
man,
Pulp Fiction, 94. Yeah, 94
Forrest
is
Gump. Oh my God. I did a
Dookie
whole
by Green
blog,
Day.
Lion King. Oh, I did a whole blog on just the music and movies that came out in that like, year or whatever. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And then go forward to 97, Biggie was around, Tupac was around in the night. Like, oh, so this cartoon, it's absolute tens. We had talked to the X-Men animated series. They're very active on Twitter.
Yep.
And they'd said, hey, we'd love to come on the podcast. This was years ago. And we're like, yeah, we'd love to do it. And little did we know, it's like, we're going to have a lot to talk about. So we'll hopefully get them on in the future. They even did the Wolverine meme, Bob. They did the Wolverine
they
meme.
did the Wolverine looking at the picture like we've missed you so much. That was so good.
So yeah, that was this was a whole other level. So I am absolutely stoked. I hope everyone's excited as well. Because there's some people that don't know any X-Men. They didn't really, maybe some of the movies and stuff like that. I do think this was like, a lot of people think a lot of the storylines they did in that was the best version of Dark Phoenix.
Yep.
There was like the best that represented where Cyclops isn't just some cuck pussy. There's a lot of good shit.
Best the Sentinels. March of the Sentinels or whatever that arc was. It was amazing. And I hope they keep the animation style. I assume they will. I hope they keep it as similar to the original as possible. Like, don't update it too much. You can make the lines a little crisper, but keep that 2D style, keep all of that. And we can kind of spin into what if season 2 is announced. This was something that it wasn't really new. We knew we were getting a season 2 all along. But I said to you right away, man, what if season 2 is going to come out before X-Men 97? 97, we're going to have to wait till 2023, which kind of sucks. But I said, what a perfect way to introduce that universe. Then at the end of what if season 2, let's have the Watcher go discover like that 2D animated X-Men universe and be like, what is this? A corner that I've never even seen before. And then you hit the fucking X-Men theme. It goes into that. That would make people so fired up. So what if season 2? I'm excited we're getting a season 2 because I really enjoyed season 1, but nothing new.
Yeah, and again, a lot of these things that there was no real trailers for anything. There was maybe like a quick snippet for a few of them, but that was really about it. Again, I think we enjoyed season 1. I enjoyed just like all the other what ifs we did, whether it was Barstool, sports, pop culture, any other kind of Marvel what ifs. I have to say, I saw a picture. It was like the big baby in his battle gear. And I kind of cringed a little at it. I was like, I didn't really love that. So I have to admit, I didn't love that. But I do want to see where they continue. I hope they don't keep it like, let's just go back to like one-offs. I don't like when it all ties together. And I really hope they don't like continue from season 1. I always loved that they were kind of individual on their own, right?
Yeah. I'm with that as well. Like the Doctor Strange episode is my favorite, and I like that character. It's cool that they're probably going to bring that character into live action. But now that we've like just explored that a little bit, let's move on to something else. Let's do something, like you said, completely different. Something that is completely different on this list is Echo, which is a spin-off of Hawkeye, a show that hasn't even come out yet. This I thought was interesting. I didn't know anything about Echo, and I came to learn she's very, very connected to Daredevil. This is apparently our best shot at seeing Daredevil involvement, people are saying, because she is a deaf superhero. She's kind of like a parallel to Daredevil, him being blind, her being deaf, and they work together in New York City. I even saw Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin in Daredevil, the Netflix show, tweet about Hawkeye, and people are like, what is this? He's like, oh, I love these Marvel shows. Looking forward to this one especially. People are like, what does that mean? So I think he could be in Hawkeye. We could be getting Kingpin in the MCU, which is awesome because I just think Kingpin in Into the Spider-Verse like stole the show. He was so goddamn good. So I know that people probably love him from comics and other things, but like that's my Kingpin now. That big hulking figure with the little head like cracks me up every time. The actress that they hired to play Echo in both Hawkeye and the show is also deaf, which I think is always interesting. The same thing as the Eternals. The Eternal, who was deaf, was a deaf actress. So it's cool to see them getting those opportunities to, it's like the representation thing for deaf people, which you don't hear about as often as other things.
No, that's good. That's good. Oh shit, I remember like years ago when it'd be like this person isn't, this or that, and there was a lot of like anger about it. But
Yeah,
that's good.
like Matt
I
Damon in that The Wall movie.
Yeah, deaf Native American
Yeah,
character whose dad worked for Kingpin. I said, let's get the Kingpin involved. Let's get him here. And Ken Jack had actually blogged that they're going to work on some sort of Daredevil reboot potentially in the MCU, right?
it's rumored.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
I
the rumor
never,
going.
I watched like the first few episodes of Daredevil, and I liked it, and I just fell off of it. I really got to go back. I know we've had listeners tell us too. Listeners are always
Yeah,
telling us like Daredevil, Punisher, those are sick shows. So we're gonna have to catch up on that because I know people love it.
and this is a perfect way to get into it. And this kind of gets me more excited for Hawkeye. I didn't realize that that guy, the Kingpin guy, had said that about it, but it does feel like Hawkeye is going to need a little bit of help to get people's interest in. And you open up the Daredevil part of the universe, the MCU, you're going to have people very excited. So also, dumb old man brain. Echo the Dolphin is what I thought of when I saw this, which is an old
Yeah.
Sega Genesis game.
I'm stunned they haven't teased anything about Yelena coming after Hawkeye. Like that was the big post credits for Black Widow, and it was cool. It was like, oh my god, this character that kind of stole the show in this movie is now going after an Avenger, and obviously they'll probably have a miscommunication and then team up by the end of it. But that's like a big part of the show that they haven't teased at all. It's gonna be cool, and I just said like, don't show us everything in the trailer, but I'm just kind of surprised.
Yeah, me too. When we have Jose on, we have a lot of questions for him to
I know
ask about.
we got to do that soon, by the way, because Hawkeye comes out this
That's true.
Wednesday. It's crazy.
It's night before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah,
Oh shit! God damn. All right, yeah, we're
and
gonna have
that's
to
going
get
to be a
Jose on.
tricky podcast to record too, because Thanksgiving is always a hectic time. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out for the basement people, though. Up next, this one is actually the one of the ones that I'm most excited about. Is Spider-Man Freshman Year. This is a new animated series coming to Disney Plus soon. That's all they said. There's no date on it. Freshman Year is said to reveal how Peter Parker became Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is canon to the MCU. We don't know if Tom Holland's going to be voicing Spider-Man. I would have to assume not, but that's just because I'm like, I don't know, he's a fucking huge star and he didn't do it in What If, so he probably won't do it here. Freshman year is interesting because I think that's like a full year before. He said he was only Spider-Man for 6 months when they met him in Civil War. There's a whole timeline thing. What I would love to see out of this is like Spider-Man being, a awkward freshman, funny conversations with Ned. We're gonna see Uncle Ben eat it again. Rest in peace, Uncle Ben. I mean, Jesus Christ, the guy can't catch a break. We dig his body up just to throw it back down in that 6 foot grave. And I want to see that homemade suit, like when he was wearing the hoodie suit with the little goggles that he winds up wearing at the end of Homecoming.
yep.
I think that is like one of my favorite things. Like I've texted you about it, like the wrestler suit from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like I love those do it yourself suits. I think that's what they classify it as in the video game, DIY suit. Um, those are awesome. So I think Spider-Man in the animated universe just always works. I grew up with an animated Spider-Man. Your kids are growing up with an animated Spider-Man. There was the 70s animated Spider-Man that we have all the memes from with the
Yep.
pointing. So like just works so well and it feels right.
That Spider-Man show from like the 90s, people say like that and X-Men go back and
Really
forth.
good.
Another
Yeah.
great theme song too. So it is, and that's something I've never really watched.
Joe
So maybe
Perry wrote that theme song.
oh, Aerosmith guy too, you know that. The one thing I said, I'm with you, Bob. We got to get another Uncle Ben death, but I want it to be like, tongue in cheek, where Aunt May's like, "Go get the milk, Ben," and he's just like, like he knows he's about to go die again. He's like, "Fuck, man."
What's the movie? Is it Hot Tub Time Machine where they see a guy with missing an arm and there's like scenes throughout the movie where they're like, oh my god, he's about to lose the arm. Look, he's about to lose the
Yeah.
arm, and then it doesn't happen. Like they should do that with Uncle Ben. Like he's in a bank when a robbery happens, and then he's just safe, and he's like, it was
I,
crazy. Yeah,
oh man, that would be like the greatest Easter egg ever. Is if you go to look at Groundhog Day and the old man that dies no matter what during that day, his name is
his
Ben.
Uncle
That
Ben.
would that would just Uncle Ben, because that's exactly what it is. So yeah, that was the first thing, and then I need some sort of a bone saw Easter egg in there, because
I
that's
would
all.
love it.
That's all I need.
He should have like it's an animated show, so they should just put a poster on Peter Parker's wall, like Bonesaw, like he's a wrestling fan.
exactly, and I have complete and utter like confidence they're going to do the right thing with this here. Like it's just now their time to work with Spider-Man for us, and they're going to be like, that shit it's everything we were giving Sony without them fucking anything up. So we're going to be just fine over here. And Tom Holland's the voice. Is he voicing this?
It's not confirmed. No, it's not confirmed.
I didn't know if that was confirmed. Okay.
Not confirmed, but they said the animation style will also be reminiscent of early Spider-Man comics, which sounds cool to me.
Nice. And I saw people were tweeting, like, because Tom Holland said, if I'm still Spider-Man after 30, I've done something wrong, like get Miles Morales timeline or something. But I do like, and some people were saying, like, let's get, at some point we have to get an older Spider-Man. We can't just keep living in like high school, college.
I also think Spider-Man. He's saying that like it's kayfabe, but not in the wrestling universe. I think he's saying that to drum up the hype for like could this be the final Spider-Man coming up? Like, it's the conclusion. It's the last one I've signed on for. I think that's like kind of to hype things up. At the same time, I've seen interviews with him where he says he's having like sleep paralysis and anxiety because of all the fucking paparazzi in his life. And there's videos of him like trying to make it through areas, and it looks like the beginning of Far From Home, where it's like, they're taking the pictures of him and he's like, I got to get out of here because it's fucking too much. So I don't know if they took a little bit of that from his real life or it was the life imitating art, but wishing the best to Tom Holland. I hope he continues playing Spider-Man well into his 30s to be like the mentor for Miles Morales, because I think he's been the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's been awesome. And my kids are obsessed with Into the Spider-Verse and the Miles one too. So I think it's going to happen. And whether or not we get any kind of like
Miles is such a good character that like you have to bring him in at some point. He's so good. And Into the Spider-Verse did such a good job of introducing him to the like wide audience.
The question is, do we get any kind of like, will we get an Easter egg for that in No Way Home as well, right? Like, you have to wonder.
How cool would it be if we saw like a fucking animated Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse in No Way Home somehow?
Give me Spider-Pig. Fuck it. I love Spider-Pig. That dude is the best, man. It makes my kids laugh. It makes me laugh. I fucking love
it.
Like,
I don't know how this would look live action. People want to say that's the dumbest idea you've ever had, Robbie. But imagine if like animated Miles Morales met the three Spider-Men in this movie. It'd be crazy.
I would just love to see like the heads explode. Like people going like immediately on Reddit or like whatever message board, be like, this is the worst thing ever, the best thing ever. It would be.
I would love it. All right. One of my favorite sponsors of all time is back. That's right. America's #1 meal kit. It's HelloFresh. I know the holidays are hectic. They always are. But HelloFresh helps keep things simple with recipes and ingredients that cut out grocery shopping and limit meal prep time, so you can spend more of the festive season with friends and family. I talk about HelloFresh all the time because I actually get HelloFresh. This stuff comes in amazing prepackaged bags, so you have everything you need in one little bag. Throw that in the fridge or wherever you may put it. The ingredients, some you put on the counter, some you put in the fridge, and you make this stuff so easily. It comes with a little instructional. Reminds me of like a Lego booklet when you're a kid. When you read through a little Lego booklet, it's that easy, but actually easier because it's only one sheet. It's not a booklet. Just one piece of paper tells you everything you need to do. And the meals are extraordinary. They're amazing. They're the greatest thing you've ever tasted. I'm not exaggerating. HelloFresh has restaurant quality meal for a fraction of the cost. This is the best in the game, and I'm getting you an amazing deal here on My Mom's Basement. Go to HelloFresh.com/14Robbie, ROBBIE. That's how you spell it, ROBBIE, for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. What are the gifts? I don't know. You're going to have to order HelloFresh with the new promo code to find out. All right, let's get back into the show. Another thing that we sort of got leaked before Disney Plus Day, I think Variety was the first to report it, is Agatha, House of Harkness, a series, a spinoff of WandaVision starring Catherine Hahn, Agatha Harkness herself. We kind of knew this was coming. I think we touched on it on My Mom's Basement. We both said, like, we're a fan of the character, both a little bit worried about the overexposure, but I think it's good that Marvel saw fans gravitated so much towards that. So let's give them some more. It's like it actually feels like they're listening to their audience in real time. So I am excited about this. I hope it's modern day, like I said before, instead of like the Renaissance time where she's being burned in Salem and stuff. I'm just more interested in the modern day stuff.
I'm 1,000% with you on that, actually, because even like it was very brief, the scenes they did it, but I'm like, oh, I'm hoping we're not here for a very long time.
Yeah.
if I wanted to live in that time, I'm going to go to medieval times. I'm going to eat some chicken and I'm going to, eat with my hands, all that kind of stuff.
Get
I
your
don't need to
pina
see
colada
that
slushy, as we're very famous in those time
during
periods.
those times. Um, and so the head writer, Jack Schaefer, is coming back, which I
Yep.
love because I think that style of WandaVision, I like to have the continuity in there. And we talked about it on a previous episode of the pod, but like, I have faith in the actress, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to overexpose it. I think, if anything, I think they're going to bring in, a few characters. And I do think Hawkeye is going to be part of that as well. I think we're going to get what, like, if Hawkeye brings in Echo and maybe a little bit of Daredevil or Kingpin and stuff like that, I think Agatha is going to do the same in terms of we're going to need more witchcraft
I
shit,
was gonna
especially
say,
going into the multiverse
witches,
and Doctor
wizards,
Strange.
yeah, in that realm. It's nice that we have like the different sections of the MCU now too, where it's like we have the cosmic realm, we have the
Mhm.
witch realm, we have the grounded, like kind of Falcon and Winter Soldier, like geopolitical realm.
Yep.
Like it's nice to have so much variety within the universe.
And there is a chance maybe phase 5, phase 6, like everything is going to be established and then they're just popping off. But like this is still world building right now. So it's
Yep.
like if this is what we take, and again, Agatha House of Harkness, great fucking name, A
Fire
plus,
name. House of Harkness is like
chef's kiss.
we're bringing back Thrones vibes with that, like House whatever, like House Lannister, House Harkness. Like I don't know, I just that kind of pops me every time.
And yeah, exactly. I'm with you. And I kind of hope they don't reveal Mephisto, but we get the occasional, like maybe a troll or two where they're fucking with
Oh,
us.
they could definitely troll in this show. That would be funny because like they could pull it off. Catherine Hahn is the perfect person to troll.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the other thing. This kind of fucked me up. I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, let's not forget, like, it was Agatha all along. We had all our fun. This bitch killed a dog. And then I'm
Killed a
thinking
dog.
about it. I'm like, yo, like now that we know what the town of in WandaVision was, she killed someone's fucking dog.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, do you think Sparky
Kidnapped
was
children.
created by Wanda, or do you think she literally murdered like the fucking Fox household? Like, there's not going to be little Sparky's going to be walking out the front door one day.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I think she really killed a dog. I
Ah,
think it was
bitch.
I think it was someone's dog, and she like put the mind control on it to be like, oh, and maybe Agatha could have created the dog, but even if she did, like, she created a dog to kill it.
Not right. We don't
Not
fuck with
right.
that, no matter what it is,
Don't
man.
fuck with that. Yeah. So
Uh,
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they make her like a main character, a protagonist.
yes, yes.
Marvel Zombies, the animated series from Marvel Studios, reimagines the Marvel Universe as a new generation of heroes battle against an ever spreading zombie scourge. This is controversial, I would say. I saw people kind of upset about Marvel Zombies because they said it seems to be following the What If Marvel Zombies instead of like the Robert Kirkman Marvel Zombies comic, which I think is more focused on like there's like a zombie superhero that comes and infects all of the Marvel heroes. So it's like Marvel heroes fighting against Marvel heroes that are zombies. I'm gonna kind of keep an open mind. I enjoyed the What If episode. I didn't think we're gonna get a full series of this, but I'll keep an open mind for it. They are using the original Robert Kirkman logo, so maybe they'll incorporate some more threads from his storyline. He's not involved in it, unfortunately, but I don't know. Could be cool.
Yeah, I liked, like, again, I liked the zombie episode more than I thought I would. And I still remember when Scarlet Witch came, like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
she's a zombie now. So I'll like you said, open mind. Like, I'll take a season, maybe 2. Like, let's not go crazy. Let's not fucking Walking Dead this bitch here. Unless it's awesome. If it's awesome, then God bless. But I feel like this, and I think a lot of these are going to be to set up the universe. This scene feels very removed. Maybe it dabbles in a season 2 of What If or something like that. But I don't need too much. And again, not a zombie guy, never have been, never will be.
I am kind of a zombie guy, so that is why I'm kind of keeping an open mind of it. I like zombies.
AJ actually acted like a zombie yesterday for the first time. It was on, like, he loves Halloween, so it was like a Halloween show, and he just started like, he's like, think about a 3-year-old acting like a zombie for the first time, and the way he was moving his body, I was just cracking up. So I kind of do want to watch this with him, so that kind of gets me excited. But yeah, I mean, like, if it's like, then don't watch it. If you guys don't like it, don't watch it. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Ironheart was they gave it a new logo, but it's nothing new. Like we've kind of talked about this show before. They didn't even tell us anything new about it. I don't think they just said, here's a new logo.
So I admit this. I'm gonna be rough on you. I'm gonna be rough on Ironheart because it's kind of dabbling in my dog Tony Stark's realm and stuff like that. And I think if anyone should be that, it's Morgan Stark should be fucking around with his suits because she's the cutest kid in the universe. And she loves cheeseburgers. And I just got sad thinking. However, if anyone needs to be sold on Riri Williams here, she's from Chicago, at least according to the Marvel input of her. She's from Chicago. And who doesn't love all the Barstool Chicago guys? Like, think about it. Like I could just, Eddie's like, oh yeah, she grew up in the same neighborhood. It's my bad, really bad.
Oh my God, Eddie should be in the show. She should do an episode of Dog Walk, like as just like the neighborhood kid who like is building these like great Iron Man suits. It looks like Iron Man. I think the way to do this, and this, I don't know anything about the comics, so people might say, hey, that's how the comic is, you dumb idiot. I think the way to do it is you make Riri Williams like a Tony Stark super fan, like a girl who grew up in the MCU, like looking up to Tony Stark, and then his final sacrifice like inspired her to this miraculous level. I know that she's like a genius in the comics, so it's like she'll build her own suit. I think you make it like a tribute to Iron Man to win over all the Iron Man fans, basically.
I dig that. Okay. Yeah. And then she's explaining to Eddie how like lasers work. And it's like, so how
like
do
if she's my
work?
age, she's probably going to be younger than me. She's probably going to be like 17 or 16 in the show, like her character, because I know that the character's supposed to be young, but like she would have grown up with like the Iron Man movies in a weird way. They could kind of do the parallel of like that.
Like you see like the moment that Tony says, I am Iron Man, that's like when it clicked for her, right?
Exactly. Her like playing with toys on the ground or something. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm down for that. All right. So we've sold ourselves on Ironheart. We've done it when they didn't even give us anything new.
Another one that they didn't give us anything new from is Miss Marvel. It's coming in the future. I don't know anything about this one either. I know some people are upset. They're like, it got delayed because her powers are different than they are in the comics. I don't know how her powers are in the comics, and I don't really care.
Sienna's gonna love it because she loves Miss Marvel. Jersey people are gonna love it because she's from Jersey.
She's from Jersey. All right, I'll care.
Jersey City. She might be your neighbor right now, bro.
Right, Jersey City. All right, I'll care.
And based on simply the video games that I play with Sienna in Marvel, she seems like she's like pretty important or like pretty popular. Because she's always like,
I don't care about the character. It's just like if they're changing her powers, who cares?
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't seem like she's like Spider-Man, right? Where it's like Spider-Man isn't shooting webs anymore and completely changes that. But I could see being upset. But yeah,
it's like Shang-Chi with the rings. They had like 10 rings on his fist in the comics, and then they changed it to the bracelets. Maybe they know best. I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt at this point.
This basement is cool with Miss Marvel's powers changing. There's plenty of other basements where people are upset. This basement is all right for now.
Yeah, change them up. I Am Groot, another one. We didn't really get anything new of this. James Gunn confirmed this week that he's an executive producer on it. It'll be an animated series. I'm sure this is going to be a massive hit with the kids. They're going to sell 1 billion baby Groot plushes, even more than they did for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Another one that I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be short episodes, if I understood correctly. This is like a short form, maybe 10-minute episodes.
Is Vin Diesel still getting paid for this shit? He probably is, isn't he?
I don't know. James Gunn said Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper, he said this yesterday, I saw, have never been on a Guardians set. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, you'd think they would want to visit just to be like, what does it look like? Like, I don't know. I would want to visit if I was in the Guardians movie.
Like, just show up for a day because those massive checks you're getting delivered to your house for this. But I mean, hey, God bless if you can do it, get it. Again, so did they say 10 minutes? Is that like the...
I forget where I saw that, but I think I saw it was short form, like 10-15-minute episodes, which
even
cool.
better.
It seems like it's probably made for kids if it's that. Yeah. That's the thing. Like made for, put it on Disney Plus and keep the baby occupied.
And trust me, Bluey is the greatest thing. If you're a parent, you don't know about Bluey, you have to like get on there now. My niece and
nephew are into Bluey now.
It's the best thing. You can watch it as a parent. You absolutely love it. They're 6
into
minutes
all the
long.
same things that your kids are into, actually. Bluey, the Spider-Man and Friends, like everything that your kids watch, my niece and nephew watch.
I only give you guys the good stuff. I'm always serving up the filet mignon on the podcast. I'm not telling you guys anything that just gets me through the day. There's stuff that AJ, actually, there's one thing AJ loves that I'll bring up. There's this thing where it's just people do YouTube videos where they do like, they take cars and it's like but it could be like a Spider-Man's driving the car, or there's a Thanos and he's dancing. It's called crash videos. I don't know how else to explain it. If you just Google, like, if you YouTube crash videos of cars, and it's like animated, it looks almost like Grand Theft Auto, and he just watches these cars and they go off a ramp and they just bite it and just completely destroy it. And I could watch it for hours on end, and so can he. But it's just not good for his brain. So watch your Blueys, watch your Groots. Everyone's going to be happy to be wholesome entertainment. And that was my biggest thing, was how much is James Gunn going to be involved? I need him to have that humor, or at least be the watcher of that humor and be like, all right, thumbs up on that joke. That's something that they would do in that universe. Cause I mean, that's my guy. Groot, you know, I'm the silent minority on this. I know. I think there's times where I think about taking Baby Groot over Baby Yo. All right. I'm just saying it right now. And it's a family thing. It's a family thing. I know this is a very controversial topic for the basic, and Bob's gone. All right. I'll take us home now, because the host has just left the Zoom meeting here. I just offended Bob deeply. Oh no. Oh, he brought him. I said it in his earshot too.
Don't listen.
Oh, no.
Don't listen to Uncle Clem. Not nice.
Brought a little Baby Yoda.
Not nice what he said right there. And this isn't just any Baby Yo. When it's my Baby Yo, they're the fucking champ. You get Baby Yo the title.
Oh, you got a WWE belt on him. Put the strap on Baby Yo.
Get the strap on Baby Yo. He is the WWE champion of the world.
Thing about Baby Yo, he could win the championship on his powers, but he can't win the hardcore belt, because once he uses powers, he's out.
He's out.
And then the next guy will just go and get him.
Yeah.
I have a little group doll upstairs, but I can't find it. So that was dirty fucking cool by you, Bob Fox.
We got 3 things left on the Marvel side, and we kind of got something for each of these. So I saved them for last. Secret Invasion being the first of which, we saw a grizzled looking Nick Fury. He had this great beard. He had this weird eye looking thing, right? It was cool. And I am a mark, to use a wrestling term, for different variations of superheroes in different iterations of the character. Like, I love that we have a different Iron Man suit for every movie. We have a different Captain America suit for every movie. We have a different Spider-Man suit for every movie. Like, even the black and gold one that we're going to see in the new movie looks cool. And I like that it's different. And I know in Marvel's view, they're like, we're going to sell a bunch of toys here, but it just like builds the universe a little more. They have an arsenal of suits. So like, if they put one on in the future, it's like, oh, remember that from whatever, like in Infinity War or maybe Endgame. I think it is an Infinity War. You can see that Captain America's suit is just like the old one, but it's so distressed that it looks like a different color. Stuff like that I'm a fan of. So just seeing that, you know, we're getting new looks at Nick Fury after he had the same look for pretty much every movie besides Captain Marvel is cool.
This feels like it's like maybe the most important of all the announcements, right? In terms of like what this is going to mean for the universe, because the Skrulls are going to, I think, be a huge part of all this, at least in the cosmic side of things. We have crazy shit going on with wizards and multiverses. I am getting nerdier as I say this all out loud and think about it. This is going to be very important when Jose explains to us the Secret Invasion, because I do not know anything about this shit. I stayed out of the cosmic universe, which is why Thanos I fell in love with so hard, because whenever I saw stars and shit, I was like, this just isn't for me. So this is going to be and my brain is not ready for the sus list that's going to come with the Skrulls.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
It's like, oh, this guy's acting extra nice right now. He's definitely a Skrull. It's
you know, when Chris Jericho did the man of 1,004 moves, and he had that long list of paper, that's going to be your sus list every week.
This is going to absolutely. Do I start like whenever Secret Invasion debuts? It's going to be like 6 months before is when I'm like, all right, so is this guy going to somehow be in?
And we got our girl Khaleesi in this one too.
Oh shit, that's right. So
Amelia Clark is in this with Nick Fury. Her
Put her at the
introduction
top
to
of
the
the
MCU.
list.
This is going to be really good.
I'm excited about this. And again, this is important. And like Secret Invasion, I always get confused with Secret Wars, but all this shit, like the Skrulls really do muddy up the waters and all this stuff. If you saw Captain Marvel, you just have the tip of the iceberg of how this can all go. And then it's like, who do you like? Who do you trust? And I do feel like
even what about the last Spider-Man movie? Nick Fury is a Skrull the whole fucking movie. Nobody knew.
God damn. God damn. I'm gonna get angry during this too, because there's gonna be times where it's like, and then I'm thinking like their powers are God, Bob. God damn it.
We got 2 Marvel shows that they actually showed little teaser trailers for, both of which I thought were pretty good and very different. The first of which we'll talk about is She-Hulk. This had Mark Ruffalo in it as Smart Hulk. It's rumored to be a straight comedy. They're saying this is going to be like one of the funniest shows that Marvel's ever produced. That kind of makes sense with Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. I know some people are like, he should go back to the Hulk smash. I like Smart Hulk. I think he's funny. And Megan Thee Stallion, as I've mentioned before, is rumored to be in this, which I just got to bring up every time because what?
Yeah, that was news to me, and I did not know that. And my brain said, and it was a WUT, what, right? That's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
What? Yeah.
That's where my brain went exactly. I need some smashing. I know we like Smart Hulk, but someone has to smash something, whether it's Hulk, She-Hulk, Baby Hulk comes. Someone got to do some smashing at some point. That's all I'm asking.
I also like that they didn't reveal what She-Hulk looked like. They just did the tease. You could kind of see like her calf in the one shot, then you see like maybe her arm or something. Like I liked that. It's going to be interesting to see her live action too, because I always thought it was like interesting that in the comics the Hulk is this massive like brute feature and figure, and then She-Hulk is like she's clearly very strong and everything, but she's still like more ladylike. So it's like probably going to be more paint than CGI. I don't know.
There's going to be some bonking going around with She-Hulk too.
There's
Let's
gonna be
be
some
honest.
bonking. Yeah,
there's going to be some serious
especially
bonking.
if Megan Thee Stallion's
I also read that this is like a superhero legal case that she follows around too.
Yeah, I think she's a lawyer.
Which I kind of love because it's like, remember we talk about like the insurance and, you know, like this New York City, if you live here, you have to be prepared for fucking fuckers from space coming down and trying to blow your city up.
Which also maybe Daredevil, Matt Murdock is a lawyer. So
and yeah, I think that could be involved as well. And again, Hulk, that's my favorite thing about Hulk is he touches all these different parts where he could go with Daredevil. He had some stuff with Wolverine and the X-Men. So I would kind of love to see Hulk be like a consistent thing. Obviously he was in Thor Ragnarok and stuff like that. Yep. And the word Avengers level threat has been thrown around. I feel like that's some fucking lawyer jargon that they're going to be using here. It's like, oh no, this is some Avengers level shit. So that side of things I'm excited about as well. She-Hulk, like I never really read any of her stuff as a kid, but like fuck it, let's rock and roll, man. Again, the Hulk, we need more Hulk shit in our lives. That was my one thing I loved about What If, is just seeing Hulk fuck shit up. I don't know if the budget will be there for that. That's the one thing that kind of is like a, you know, concern of mine.
I'm not so concerned with that, just because of the budget of the other Marvel shows. Like there was nothing in that really concerned me. I will say Jose told me She-Hulk and Eros, the Harry Styles Star Fox, are interconnected and that they have like very funny romantic connections together.
So that was the other thing about Star Fox or Eros, whatever you want to call him, that I didn't realize is like one of his powers is basically to like be super charming, right? And Harry Styles, good looking dude too.
Good guy for that.
It's going to get sexy on in the MCU here. I think we can all agree there. So I'm extremely, it was her and who was it? Scarlet Witch, I think was the other one he had like a relationship with. So I am excited to see how that all plays off. And I mean, based on that, like, can we, I guess, spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen Eternals yet.
Oh yeah. Sorry if we spoiled that.
We'll throw a spoiler alert.
Well, I'll say this. They put a poster out today of his face on the official Marvel account.
Oh, really?
So I think spoiler, I think that's like come on.
come on. I do think that I'm very excited to see how he plays into all that with, you know, whatever girls it may be.
Yeah, they literally put out like you remember they put out the character poster of the valet and you were like, is this real? And it was like very funny. They put out the same one, but it was Harry Styles' face and it said like Star Fox on it. So it's out there now. I mean, it's all over the internet. The final Marvel show we are going to talk about is Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac, our guy Poe Dameron, Ex Machina. This is one of my favorite actors at this point. Dune even. Trailer looks very cool. Looks kind of brooding. People have said, I don't know anything about Moon Knight. People have said, imagine Batman, but he's got like this dark, demented, ancient god in his brain. I'm like, all right, that sounds kind of sick. People have tweeted me very funny screen caps. He's like a funny, snarky character, some of which are photoshopped that I thought were real, but they looked really funny. And Dracula, I think, is like his villain, so it could be connected to Blade. It could be connected to Dane Whitman, the Black Knight, possibly. I think, like we were saying, there's different sects of the MCU. This is a new one where it's going to be like some weird ancient god medieval shit.
Yep, get a medieval on that ass. That's exactly what I almost smelled a museum during this trailer, right? And I was thinking the same thing. I saw the Black Knight like being involved with this, and then Blade 2. I didn't realize that other thing with Dracula. So, oh boy, we're getting really fucking crazy here in the
And I think
MCU right
Ethan
now.
Hawke is confirmed to be in this too. So like Ethan Hawke, Oscar Isaac, great cast. We're adding great actors to the MCU here. It's variety. It's different. I'm all for Moon Knight. This is actually one of my most anticipated, based on how people are talking about the character. Everyone's saying we're gonna love Moon Knight.
And again, I'm with you. I know absolutely nothing about the guy. I looked it up. It said Mark Spector is better known as the vigilante Moon Knight. Once a mercenary, Mark Spector was left for dead in the desert, where he was revived by the moon god Khonshu. Appointed as, so I was like, all right, that seems fucking good. Appointed as Khonshu's fist and high priest, Moon Knight enacts justice to protect those traveling. Okay. However, I scroll down a little more. Recently, Mark discovered he had a daughter named Dietrice and his long-time lover Marlene Allrune, whatever. But when Khonshu sensed Mephisto's plan for world domination, Mark left her to fight by the god side. So we might have
Mephisto confirmed.
I feel like if you go to all these fucking characters we talk about, you go to all their pages, you just do Control F Mephisto. He's always fucking in someone's business somehow, some way. But I just love seeing the big Mephisto, man. I mean, shit, you're going with Dracula. At some point, you have to bump into this goddamn asshole. So
Yeah.
whoever gets to be Mephisto at this point, like, it's almost like the greatest honor you could have. And you also can't live up to this guy who I honestly did not know even existed until WandaVision.
Me neither.
I
And he
absolutely
became
love
the
it.
center of the MCU like that. I wonder who the first person to put out one of those videos is. Like, I think it could be like a hint towards Mephisto, because they started it all. They sparked a war online.
I have to go listen to our like WandaVision recaps and just listen to the first time we brought up Mephisto. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be crazy. It's like, you morons, you goddamn idiots. I have to admit this, and all right. So I'm probably we're not gonna get no fits out or anything like that. I have to admit this though. When I see Oscar Isaac, I see sequel trilogy Star Wars. I see Poe. You know my
Same.
opinion on the sequel trilogy, and you probably love it because of it.
Yeah.
I like get this, like, I get that same point of like the disappointment pit in my stomach.
Well, he's clean shaven in this too, kind of like Poe.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing though. Oscar Isaac, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be in the MCU. He's going to be in a ton of different fucking movies. I need this to be the breath mint that's going to make me see. It's almost like I used to see Tommy Carcetti, then he became Littlefinger. Like, you can change who you are. Some people saw Omar Little, then he became Chalky White. It's like, he's going to be Poe, but like, I've watched the sequel. I probably watched Last Jedi twice. I don't even know if I watched
Have you
Rise
seen
of
Ex
Skywalker.
Machina?
No.
Watch that, and it's gonna just put a weird taste. I don't know if it's a breath mint, but it's he's such a fucked up character, and he's so good in it. Like, that's a must watch movie.
That's like a hot mega warhead. Like, whoever the fuck
yeah.
came out with hot mega war, like sour ones are like cool sour. Hot mega warheads, that's like, I think Mephisto came up with those, to be honest. Those are like the sickest twisted shit that I had as a kid. So fuck it. I'll take the what's the name of it? I've seen it right now.
Ex Machina, and
Ex Machina.
I think that's how you say it. It's Dom Hall Gleason as well, who's General Hux, and they were in that before The Force Awakens came out. It's like basically just those two, and then Alicia Vikander comes in at one point, but it's like basically just General Hux versus Poe Dameron the entire movie. Not versus, they're like, just watch the movie. It's very interesting.
And you said he's in Dune as well? I haven't seen Dune.
He
yet,
plays
obviously.
Timothy Chalamet's dad in Dune.
Is that pretty important role in it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anything. Okay, so
Big
maybe I'll
important
watch
role.
that as well, and then I can, like, I'm gonna slowly just knock Poe out of my fucking head, because I'm not gonna watch the sequel trilogies again probably. So it's like, we can get rid of this. We can move past it. This guy is going nowhere. Moon Knight could be fucking good, and Oscar Isaac is gonna be like in great TV shows and movies that I'm gonna want to watch. So let's just get through this together. That was about as simple.
And he's going to be in the next Into the Spider-Verse. He was the one they introduced at the end, Spider-Man 2099.
Oh shit. Okay, there we go. So that was as simple a conversation we could have with a Star Wars sequel trilogy. And I think we're doing it right here. So okay, I like it. I'm excited.
I also did. I'll just end it on this. I watched The Last Jedi for the first time in a long time this week with my girlfriend. We both loved it. Obi-Wan, sizzle reel. We got a sizzle reel. It was the only thing we got from Star Wars. It was a little underwhelming, if I'm being honest. And Obi-Wan is the show that I'm looking forward to the most out of Star Wars or Marvel or anything, I feel like, because I grew up with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in the prequel trilogy, obviously. Like, these were my characters. And the thought of Ewan, who basically like lifted up that trilogy on his own, the thought of him getting a good script and a good story to tell as being Obi-Wan Kenobi, like just makes me so excited. The prospect of that. So not really seeing any footage, just seeing like two pieces of concept art. A little disappointing. Saw a piece of concept art that looks like Obi-Wan versus Vader on Mustafar, which was interesting. We didn't know where that battle would take place. Kind of makes sense that it would be there, being Vader's castle is there, I guess. But yeah, interesting. I got into an argument with some people on Twitter because they were like, Star Wars keeps going back to the well with Obi-Wan and Anakin. This is bullshit. Who wants this? And I was like, they Obi-Wan and Anakin, they did in 1977, and then they did in 2005, and now they're doing in 2022. So it's like there's 20 years between every time that they're going back to this. Like it's literally just the third time it's happened ever.
I don't see that. Like, I don't see that at all. That's wild to me. I've never heard that take before. And listen,
Yeah.
like,
I saw a couple of people telling me that, and I was like, "What do you mean they keep going back to the well with this? Like, it's literally only happened twice."
we basically live on Tatooine in the Star Wars universe, right? We always say that. And it's like, this is one thing I didn't have. Now, I actually like, my biggest problem with it is that I feel like if you're gonna just show nothing, don't show the actual confrontation between them. It's like showing the Spider-Man,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
that's what
kinda.
I thought was so weird. I'm like, that's gonna be the thing everyone's looking forward to. And they showed that.
I guess it was
Star
just concept art instead of like seeing it, so it's like a little better. But I agree.
yeah. And I guess that's okay. So yeah, that's right. It was just because at first I thought I was looking at a screen cap of a video, and then I realized that
Yeah,
wasn't the case, obviously. But yeah, that just it's honestly crazy. It's like Star Wars was like the prize pupil of Disney when they got them, and Marvel was like, the kid that you saw some potential in. And at this point, Marvel's like, the MCU is like the lawyer, doctor, professional athlete, president of the fucking company, and Star Wars is just a fucking dickhead that just refuses to get out of the basement with us
but
here.
but like they were great in high school, you know.
Yeah, it's like that dude put up 20 and 10 a
Still
game.
got the varsity jacket on the ceiling. Like, do you remember those fucking games though? Because they were sick.
It's like, dude, you haven't been relevant since '83. If you want to keep it real here, man.
But then the Mandalorian is like, all right, they got a promising job, so let's see how this is going.
That's, you know what, that is a great fucking point. And and like the little, like, Marvel's the little brother, like, man, I wouldn't have been able to do this without you showed me the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's a fair point,
they're
Bob.
on a good streak. And there's rumors that Kathleen Kennedy has re-upped her contract for 3 years this week. People are, shitting on that because they're going to shit on her forever. But we're literally coming off the heels of The Mandalorian, which is the best thing that Star Wars has ever done since Disney acquired them. So it's like, I'm like, I don't know, maybe she's trending in the right direction. And what else we got coming up soon? The Book of Boba Fett. Let's go.
I definitely lost myself in the Star Wars analogy with the brothers there because you had brought up the Last Jedi there. But however, yeah, we're on a winning streak right now in the Star Wars universe. We can't forget that. It's a modest one, but it's
even
much
the Bad
better
Batch.
than
Bad Batch is great. Like they keep putting Dave Filoni in charge of things, which is the right move. Just put him in charge of everything. Like Dave Filoni, they gave Kevin Feige a fucking Star Wars movie. They gave Taika Waititi a Star Wars movie. They're doing some really good moves. I think they fucking brought Ewan McGregor back. They brought Hayden Christensen back. They're doing a Ahsoka show with Grand Moff Tarkin. Like we're moving in the right direction. And speaking of moving in the right direction, Ghostbusters seems to be getting some good reviews. Ghostbusters Afterlife. I've seen mixed reviews. Now the negative ones are harping on the fact that it's very fan servicey. Like there's ton of fan service, ton of nostalgia, stuff like that. That's what I love. So I'm fine with that. And the person that I saw that went to the premiere that I was looking out for their opinion the most was Q from Impractical Jokers, actually, because he's the biggest Ghostbusters fan that I know. I don't know him personally, but just from Twitter and everything like that from the show. He went to the premiere. He absolutely loved it. He did not like the last one. He also was not really a fan of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So in a way that makes you think like this is not a guy who's just going to say he liked Ghostbusters for the sake of saying it. He's probably someone who really, really liked this. I mean, the trailer, like we mentioned, not showing Bill Murray or not showing any of the old Ghostbusters, thought was awesome. And Paul Rudd, sexiest man alive, one of my favorite people on the planet.
Can't go wrong with Paul Rudd. And before we came on, I was like, let me see what it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. I happened to go to the Ghostbusters website by mistake. I didn't realize there was a new trailer. It came out the 8th,
Yeah.
November 8th. And it revealed a lot more. I mean, we're straight up, it looks like we're bringing Zool back. We have the Gozer dogs and all that kind of shit. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize we were really dipping back. And now I feel like, people are saying, fan service and all this kind of stuff, or, the nostalgia play and whatever. I didn't realize we're like, and again, Jason Reitman, I always felt like he was going to do the family business right. This is something that, put food in his mouth and made his, guy.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, the name just blew up because of it. So it got me very excited. And I saw the Rotten Tomatoes at 65%. I don't really even care about that stuff anymore because we've seen it.
I mean, look at the Eternals was so fucked up. That one's the worst reviewed Marvel movie in the history of the MCU. It doesn't make any sense.
No, so it's like, yeah, you can just throw it out. And again, people like that, like the guy you follow, those are the people I take. And this is coming from someone, I think I've said on the pilot in the past, this was my favorite movie until I was like, I don't know, 12, 14 years old. Like I didn't understand half of the shit that was going on in Ghostbusters. It was just my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Dressed it as Halloween, all that kind of stuff, to the point I didn't even love 2 that much because it was the first sequel of a movie that I loved that I saw. And I was like, oh, I didn't like how Peter Venkman didn't have the happy ending, and how the vibe was different, right? It was a little more comedy. It was a little more kid friendly because they probably had to sell a shitload of toys and stuff like that. So that's coming from someone who had like those serious feelings. And I didn't even see the one with the girls, which again, I like those actresses individually. I avoided it like the plague just based on the reviews.
They went about it the complete wrong way. They ignored the original. They tried to basically make it a remake. It was the wrong thing.
That's exactly what I heard from people. That's why I need them to, I guess I don't need them to nail this because I could just forget it exists like I did everything else. But the fact that like Reitman's involved and that this is going to be very heavy based on the original, I'm like stoked for it. And if you're listening to this right now, it's out, which I didn't even notice either.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're recording this
today.
Out today. We're recording this on November 18th, and I've been tweeting this the last couple of weeks. Thanksgiving is a week from today. I know time doesn't make sense in this Corona world we live in. I know Thanksgiving's a little earlier. My mind will never stop being blown that like how we're just at Thanksgiving right now. It's 2022, damn near 2022 right now. Yeah. It's fucking crazy, man. And like the thing is, everything entertainment wise keeps getting pushed back a little in the MCU. So it's not like we've been flooded with stuff. I mean, we're about to get flooded here in the basement. Obviously, we got a lot of shit coming up, but I can't believe Ghostbusters here. I'm excited. I'm stoked. I'm going to watch one with Sienna and hopefully she's not too scared and then I can take her to see it because I'm telling you, when fucking Sigourney gets fucking the dog claws over the face, I had nightmares for days about that shit. And again, I didn't know why Dan Aykroyd's eyes were rolling in the back of his head because he was getting a fucking ghost hummer. So I'm very concerned about seeing this with the daughter, Sienna approved. But we will actually, I'm sure we'll do some sort of like a review or recap on it.
Yeah,
like at least
I'm
we'll
definitely
touch on
going to see. Like you, I'm going to watch the original tonight, and I'm going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife day it comes out because I went through a big Ghostbusters phase. Like when I was little, I probably was 8, 9, 10 years old. Got the Ghostbusters video game, got the Ecto Cooler, and they've been like marketing this well. They brought Ecto Cooler back. They've been driving the car around New York City. I've seen tweets like people are like, "Oh shit, I just spotted it." So like, I like the marketing for this.
I think the first blog I wrote at Barstool when I got full time was that they had brought Ecto Cooler back, and that might have been for the other movie. I don't remember what it was for, but like
they bring
like
it back like periodically. I feel like every couple of years they'll do a promotion. That's always the best.
No one's going to complain about Ecto Cooler. It's fucking, and it's just as good. It's like for someone that doesn't eat a lot of sugar these days, I drank it. I was like, oh my God, my throat's on fire. But Bob Fox, I feel like you still dabble. You're like giant Arizonas and stuff like that. You may not be as bad, but I'm absolutely stoked. I feel like once you age out of dinosaurs, Ghostbusters is your next thing. I feel like that's the next progression for kids. So I'm stoked. I hope the kids like it. And
what's your favorite dinosaur?
Brontosaurus, actually, believe it or not. I think that's more my kind of, vibe, right? It's like T-Rex a little too aggressive for me. Raptors weren't big when I was a kid because Jurassic Park brought them back. And Stegosaurus and Triceratops are cool as shit, but I'm just a Brontosaurus man trying to eat my leaves and just like enjoy life. You know what I mean? What about you?
Always been a Velociraptor guy. Always loved the Velociraptors.
You grew up in the age of Raptors, Bob. That makes perfect sense. And that movies that made us, we just started the other night and the kids were so fucking crazy. We had to turn it off 10 minutes in because we couldn't watch it. But there's the Jurassic Park one on there. I heard it's awesome.
Watched it. It's great. Yeah, it's really good.
I'm so stoked for that, man. I'm so stoked. And then we got to do a fucking making a Ghostbusters movies that made us with Ghostbusters because this is this is, I think, honestly, I think it goes from dinosaurs to Ghostbusters is natural progression for a lot of kids. So I'm stoked for this, man. We're definitely gonna have to chop it up in the basement. And I think based on the trailers, I think it's gonna be heavy-handed enough towards the original. Even if it's a little too much, that's fine with me. It's fucking Ghostbusters. It's been, I mean, fuck, what is it? It's almost 40 years at this point since it came out. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Let's fucking just splatter my face with nostalgia. Who cocky me with nostalgia? Hopefully no kids are listening to this right now.
That's the best note to end it on right there. Go see Ghostbusters. We're going to be talking about it in the basement. We're going to be doing a Hawkeye pod with Jose as long as we can get him down here, as long as we get those schedules right. And look out for our Hawkeye recap next week. We're back next week with live action MCU TV show recaps. I can't wait.
Oh, it's basement season, baby. Hashtag basement season. If you hashtag basement season us, that's how we know you made it to then. You're an OG. What should we put in the comments of YouTube here?
Favorite dinosaur?
Yes, either favorite dinosaur or rank your top three.
Your top three announcements.
For the Marvel shows. What are the top 3 Marvel shows you're looking for? Which again, X-Men 97, Agatha, House of Harkness, Miss Marvel, I Am Groot, Ironheart, Moon Knight, Marvel Zombies, Echo, Spider-Man Freshman Year, She-Hulk, What If Season 2, Secret Invasion. Rank them in order 1, 2, 3. Bob, what are your 3 before we log off?
I would go. So I don't have 1, 2, 3, but I'll give you my top 3. Moon Knight. I have Spider-Man Freshman Year. And Secret Invasion, because like we talked about, that's going to be heavy on the Marvel universe.
That might be the biggest show that we've had yet in terms of touching the universe, right?
Yeah.
And I think like there's been big parts of the show so far, but it's very interesting because I have 2 of the 3 different. X-Men, obviously, which isn't going to be as big, but that's
forgot about that. Yeah,
that's just for me, and anyone else out there. Secret Invasion's 2 though, because I think it's gonna be very important. And then this one is like, I think I Am Groot is gonna have the least amount of it, but it's my guy Groot. I fucking love the little fucking bastard.
And in your household, that's gonna be on the TV constantly, I bet.
It's gonna stop me from so many daddy, I want to watch those Crash videos, which again, I cannot stress how awesome they are to watch, but they are just poison for his mind. We just throw on I Am Groot and everyone's happy. It's wholesome James Gunn humor. Can't go wrong with that.